Someone asked me this question on one of my social media platforms, and I decided I will use this as a topic to share here. The question specifically was, when did I feel more comfortable with my sewing skills? In other words, from the minute I began as a beginner sewist till I started feeling more comfortable in what I was doing. How long did that take? Now, this is different for everyone, so there is no one size fits all when it comes to sewing, right? I feel like it's one of those things, depending on how much you want it and how much time you put into it, that's what you're going to get out of it. It's the same thing as riding a bicycle. If you spend a lot of time practicing, instead of just watching videos, you will get it faster. Watching videos is great to get the technique, but you actually have to put your hands on the machine, hear it whirl, hear how it feels when you're working with it. Those are things that factor into how quickly you become comfortable with it. For me personally, it didn't take very long because, like I've said many times, I've been sewing since I was 8 years old. So it was kind of almost like second nature to me. Like it made sense to me how the machine worked and different things like that. But it might not be the same for other people, especially if you're just picking it up as an adult. So comfort wise, I will say what I've seen with people is if you're someone who practices, and when I say practice, you use your sewing machine at least once or twice a week, not a month, once or twice a week. So don't have it collecting dust in the corner. If you do that, I feel like within 6 months, you'll be very comfortable. And most people get it within 3 months. Some people get it in the first two lessons. So it just depends on your learning style. Like, do you pick things up quickly, especially when it comes to arts and crafts, or do you require a little more hands-on types, practice type situations? If that's the case, then hey, it doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong answer as far as how long it takes you to learn to sew. It just means, you're more comfortable doing one thing and not as comfortable doing another. I, for one, when I first started sewing, I didn't like doing shearing. Shearing is basically what people call gathers, when you use the elastic thread and things like that. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. Does that mean that that's the first thing I will pick if I was looking at a pattern? Absolutely not. If I was looking at patterns, and I saw that it required sharing, I probably would just put it down because I'm not as comfortable with it. However, it's something that over time I've become a little, maybe not as scared as I've been in the past, but I'm getting a little more used to it. So I will say it's kind of grown on me. There are things that I like to do and things I do not like to do when it comes to sewing. There are practices that make sense for me, like, and I use them. And then there are practices that make sense for other people and they use them. So don't judge yourself by other people's yardstick. Remember that learning, it's individualized. So how you learn, what you learn, the pace at which you learn, like all of these factors in, and how much time you spend practicing. So going back to my example about riding a bike, if you get on the bike multiple times, over time it becomes like muscle memory. You get it, you do it, and you just go. But if you do it like once and then you just leave it and you don't do it, come back to it, it's not the same. So hopefully that's answered your question. If you have any other unique questions, because that was a first, and I was like, oh, I like that question, I'm going to do a video on it. Feel free to drop it in the comments, and hope you're having a wonderful week so far. Take care. Bye.